Rachel White is a cocktail waitress at a truck stop strip club in an interstate cowtown in Central California. As her life spirals out of control, poverty and paranoia force her to make a string of increasingly desperate decisions. Decisions that will lead her to the Hell Patrol, a paramilitary organization of hot rod driving mercenaries that hunt demons for fame and fortune. This is Hell Patrol Origins.
Chapter 9, featuring the greatest sumbitch mechanic alive, Jim Jack Cooter. Alright, y'all sumbitches ready for this? It's time to talk about automobiles. 9. Come with me. If I'm gonna lose it, I might as well be the one to give it up,
Cooter sighed. Henry followed behind them. I want to see the look on your face when you see it. Rachel followed Cooter. They walked across the track to the other side of the yard where the garage building was. Cooter slid between a pair of half-stripped Crown Vics, led them into the furthest, dustiest, most red-necked and dilapidated-looking corner of the garage, where there was a car under a tarp.
Any of y'all know anything about the history of cop cars?
Cooter asked, as he grabbed the corner of the tarp. I know they're built to higher standards with more upgraded parts than normal civilian cars, Rachel said. Isn't that why Hell Patrol uses them?
Back in the day, the California Highway Patrol, which was the largest broker of police vehicle contracts in the country, set the standard for what was supposed to be in a cop car. They made their demands, and the auto industry rushed to meet them. Whatever police package they decided on, the police agencies in other states would follow, Cooter said. Because they bought the most cop cars, they got to set the pace.
Okay, Rachel said.
Their demands were insane. They wanted a car that could drive 100 miles per hour for 100 hours in 100-degree weather. They torture tested every piece of equipment that was sold to them. Back then, the closest thing you could find on the road to a real live race car was a CHP Cruiser, Cooter said.
He pulled back the tarp to reveal a dusty old muscle car. It had the long, predatory, angular lines of a retro Dodge, with gloss black paint and white doors. Under the dirt and grime, it looked like a crocodile on 4 rubber tires, sunning itself on a riverbank, a fat, wide, powerful predator that was lying dormant. It could snap and move with lightning quickness at any time.
This is the '69 Dodge Polara. Among cop car aficionados, it is considered the finest police vehicle ever made. This vehicle, for all intents and purposes, is basically just a race car in black and white paint, Cooter started. It's got a 440 Magnum V8 porn star that sucks dick through a Holly 4-barrel, mated to an unkillable TorqueFlite A727, and it takes on 2 dudes at once with dual exhaust. It rides on a sheet of ice with an 18.5-quart radiator and even has separate coolant tanks for the transmission. It's got fat-ass cop disc brakes up front, drum brakes in the back, and the suspension is so smooth it'll have your panties off and 2 fingers inside of you on the first date. Do you know what any of that means?
It means it's my birthday, Christmas, and payday. All on the same day, Rachel said, her lips splitting, her smile reaching her horns. Where the hell did you find it?
Salvage operation dug up the Peterson Automotive Museum down in L.A., dragged it out, and a couple other fine-ass rides. They didn't know what that was, so they hocked it to Hell Patrol. Now the bureaucrats are going to make me give it to you because they won't sell it to me. Against company policy or some mess, Cooter said. It's the last of the breed. It belongs in a museum. They shouldn't put a piece of history like this in the hand of some tiefling to tear it up fighting demons.
Yeah, but they did. And since she can actually drive, she's the best chance you've got of ever seeing it again, Henry said.
Well, them's the breaks, Cooter spat.
I love it, Rachel said. But it's from 1969. Those Crown Vics out there are only 20 years old at most. Aren't they more powerful? Is this car really so good that it beats out more modern engineering?
Good question, even if it insults the very Mopar heart of me, Cooter said.
When Hell Patrollers get a little money and experience, they typically downgrade to older cars from the 60s or 70s. On purpose, Henry explained. Modern cars are, cut corners and cost cutters. They're full of safety features, aluminum, and plastic. Hell, the bumpers on most modern cars are plastic and full of styrofoam. Old cars like this, the machines are primitive. The engines don't die. There's not a lot of electronics. They drink gas and air, and they work until the block cracks. They're steel the whole way down to the rails. And what they lack in safety features, they make up for in resilience.
So in Hell Patrol, primitive is better, Rachel said.
It's more reliable. If you wrap it around a tree, oh yeah, bet your ass you'll die. There's no airbags. But hit a demon with it at 60 miles per hour, he'll be dead, and you'll be cashing checks and pounding out dents with a smile on your face, Henry said.
I'm gonna have to give it the Eleanor job, Cooter said. Ain't no way I'm letting you drive this museum piece out of this garage without doing an Eleanor on it.
What does that mean? Rachel asked.
You ever seen that old movie Gone in 60 Seconds? Henry asked.
Nicolas Cage?
No. The original one from the 70s. I guess you haven't seen it.
Eleanor was a custom Mustang in the film. It was a 40-minute long chase scene, Cooter added. They didn't use fancy computer graphics back then. The shit didn't exist yet. Back then, when stuntmen wanted to crash cars, they actually had to crash them, and they had to make them to survive crashes.
The Eleanor Mustang was reinforced. The film mechanics pulled off all the panels, piped it out with a roll cage, welded in more reinforcement under everything. Under the paint, it was a tank. It had to be. They smashed their way across traffic from South LA to Long Beach in that car, Henry explained.
I'm gonna need to do that to this car, and add some exterior caging as well. If I ever want to see it again, it's gotta be as tough as hammered shit, Cooter said.
What are you thinking about armaments? The first dance is gonna be a zombie lawnmower, Henry said.
Twin .30 caliber nutcrackers. I'll put them on the roof and camber them to angle at head level. You'll be picking off headshots just by pushing the button, Cooter said.
How long is all of this going to take? Rachel asked.
Couple days. Jade and I still have to do a once-over on the Crown Vics and install all their guns, too.
Well, get to it, Henry said. Rachel, come with me. There's something we need to talk about. You and that other guy and your hooker friends.
Rachel followed Henry back across the track and went with him as he set about rounding up a motley handful of tieflings. The ones he picked were, as he said, Alex, the gangster, and another streetwalker. All the tieflings that came into Hell Patrol that day with a criminal past following them. He took them out the front of the building, to the curb where his Monaro was parked. He put the key in the trunk, opened it, and turned around. Rachel and the others could see that behind him, in the trunk,
there was a disorganized pile of groceries and firearms. Mostly non-perishable camping food like coffee and soda cans, cup noodles, trail mix, sports drinks, water bottles, and more guns than Rachel had ever seen in her life. Piles of topped off and loaded magazines, as well as tons of loose shotgun shells floating around between everything else.
I'm about to show you guys my toy collection, Henry said.
He pulled a strange, long-looking gun with a pistol grip and a bulbous-looking cylinder on the top out of the trunk and showed it off.
This is a Calico. It fires pistol bullets, but it has deep pockets. The clip is helical. It holds 100 bullets. You just hold the trigger down and spray it like a super soaker, Henry said.
He threw the Calico back in the trunk, picked up what looked like a chopped-down, short-barreled AK, like the kind that Rachel had seen in war movies.
This is a Draco. It's an AK-47, but shorter. In some states, it's actually classed as a pistol. But rest assured, this fucker is still very much an AK. Put a 75-round drum on it,
Henry said, and then he dropped it back into the trunk. He picked up another gun that looked like an AK, but this one had a comically large banana clip on it, almost like it was from a cartoon.
Saiga 12. It's an AK shotgun. My personal favorite.
He threw the gun back in, grabbed a bottle of Gatorade, and then closed his trunk again. He took a single swig of the Gatorade and then put it on the trunk lid behind him.
The reason I'm showing you guys my toy chest is because it's very easy for hell patrollers to get guns. We walk into the gun store, they already know who we are. They check our ID against a database, and we skip the line. We go straight into the back where they keep the fun stuff, and we go shopping. They love us. We walk in there like it's Toys R Us and fill shopping carts and pay cash. They do not make it hard for us to get guns, Henry said.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I bet you would. Here's the thing, though. Reloading fucking sucks. I never met a tiefling in my life that could shoot worth a shit, myself included. Trying to drive a car and shoot at the same time, it's fucking impossible. But lucky for us, most demons and undead are just brutal, scary, and stupid. They're fearless, and they don't value their own lives. They'll come right out to the window if you let them. And then you just point that shit out and spray them. And what do you spray them with? The biggest, most gassed up, high-cap piece you got within reach. Because trust me, you aren't going to be reloading and driving at the same time.
Good to know, the gangbanger said.
Yeah, there's just one problem with that. The thing that Hell Patrol likes about guns are the same things that gangsters like about guns. You could say that we both appreciate the fine art of the drive-by shooting.
The gangbanger shrugged because Henry was right.
I grabbed all of you because you all came in under bad shit. You're a gangster, you're hookers, and you just shot a man with a stolen gun. Look, I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but I know you've all done bad stuff or know bad people. Someone you know would love to get a Hell Patrol ID and go gun shopping on our credit, Henry said. We get shit that's not even legal.
So what are you trying to say? Rachel asked.
I ain't trying to say nothing, I'm just saying it. Let me tell you a story. Back in the old days when this shit started up, and we didn't have little talks like this, or, properly remove our more criminal recruits from their old lives, all the gangs, gun runners, and cartels realized they could get a line on some really nice party poppers if they just sent one of their boys into Hell Patrol and had them funnel guns back to the set. Everyone following me so far? Henry asked.
They all nodded.
Here's the problem. Not only is that not a great idea for society, but it also wasn't healthy for the guy fencing the guns. See, the guys on the inside, they eventually figured out that Hell Patrol actually was a pretty sweet gig, and that they could get rich, leave the crime life behind them. The money they made fencing guns wasn't worth their career. But that's what gang shit is. It's blood in, blood out. And when these guys tried to quit the life and stop fencing guns back to their set, they got jumped and they got killed. A lot of really good Hell Patrollers that came from the streets got clapped when they tried to go straight and stop gun running, Henry explained.
So don't do that shit, Rachel said.
So don't do that shit, Henry repeated. We try to have this little talk with everyone that comes in from the street. We call it the deal with the devil rule. We say that in Hell Patrol, you already made one deal with the devil, and it was signing up for Hell Patrol. You got away with it once, but you won't get away with it again. Don't roll the dice. Don't gamble. You don't make deals with the devil. When we say you quit your old shit and come into this clean, we mean it. If you go home and your old buddies try to run you for heat, you have to cut them off. You have to say no. Because if you say yes, you're in too deep. And eventually, when you want to get out, they will kill you. Go straight and stay straight. It always happens like that.
Okay, Rachel said.
Look, money's not a problem for me. You got new friends, better friends. I know some of you don't have real clothes. Hooker outfits, gang rags, colors. Whatever street clothes you're wearing that you need to get out of. Whatever burner phones or hot guns you need to dump. I got your back. I know you haven't been paid yet, but you're good for it. Stay at the jail if your home is too close to your old life. I'll order you pizza and buy you a pack of t-shirts. It's all just loose change to me. And if you really got a problem, you can crash on my couch. 'Cause I got guns for days. And anyone that comes looking for you will get lit the fuck up. Last resort, of course. But I'm telling you, hell, I'm begging you, that when we say you leave your old life and you got new friends, we mean it. Don't get back on your bullshit.
Yeah, I feel you, man. My boy just went upstate on resisting arrest. They caught him with the thing and the bread on him and he picked up 3 felonies, the gangbanger said.
I'm not worried about you, my man. I believe you when you say you're done. It's her I'm worried about,
Henry said, nodding at Rachel. I never did a criminal thing in my life until I shot that man, and it was self-defense.
That only means that you don't know the consequences, because you were never in the life. These streetwalkers and gangbangers, they know they can get yapped any day they go outside. They understand that better than you. You need to understand, girl, that we will kill that dude if he fucks with you. But we'll do it our way, the way that we'll get away with. Assuming he's still alive, of course. I mean, hopefully he's not. But Hell Patrol is not your license to go looking for his ass. You got it?
I understand. What if he's not dead? Rachel asked.
My house is in that gated community suburb for the nice human people on the edge of town. We got walls, gates, security shacks, cameras, and of course, my badass garage full of street sweepers. There's also the jail dorm at Hell Patrol. Or, you could crash with that dude you were with. He looked pretty on the ball with that shit. But if things get weird, go where you know you're safe. Don't fuck around doing dumb shit. It's your job to shoot demons, not people.
So I should have to live in fear because...
We cross that bridge when we get there. Listen, all of you. Money solves a lot of problems. In a couple days, your cars will be ready. Me and the boys will take you out on your first lawnmower mission. We'll go down to LA and clean out some zombie infestations. It's basic shit as far as Hell Patrol is concerned. but it will put some fast racks in your pockets. Pay some bills, put the deposit down on a nice place in the good part of town, that kind of shit. We'll get you out of reach of the people that can hurt you."
Henry made a gesture to motion them back inside. They met the rest of the tieflings and Sergeant Brady in the briefing room. "Have your little talk?" Brady asked.
"All squared away. What's going on?"
"Driver's ed. If today was your first day behind the wheel, you can stick around now. But you have to come back tomorrow. If you can already drive," he looked at Rachel, "you can go home or go back to the dorm. Right now, we have to cram these kids to get them somewhere close to road legal." Henry turned to Rachel.
"You're off the hook. Want a ride home?"
"Yeah, I haven't been there in a while. I should at least make sure the lights are off or I didn't leave the oven on or some shit," Rachel said. They went out the front to go get into Henry's car. Rachel touched the door handle, looked inside the Monaro, and realized that the right side was the driver's side.
"Yeah, that takes a minute to get used to. Australians doing shit backwards," Henry laughed. HBO Recap, Chapter 9. Smoke weed every day.
All right. So, Rachel gets her car, the 69 Polara Police Interceptor, widely referred to by cop car aficionados as the finest police vehicle ever made. Thank you, Cooter. Yeah, all right. So we finally get to see Rachel get her badass car. And then Cooter explains what the mechanics actually do to the Hell Patrol cars to make them badass so that they can go out and kill shit with them. Then what happens is Henry takes all the suspicious characters outside and explains to them the facts of life. This is what's happening here is Henry is explaining a lot of things about Hell Patrol from like the old days. As I've mentioned in previous recaps, Hell Patrol wasn't always this organized. As Rachel once said, it's all like it's the Wild West out there. It definitely still is, but the Wild West of Hell Patrol today is nothing compared to just like the absolute, just like fucking all the way Wild West that Hell Patrol used to be a couple years before Rachel joined up. Henry himself isn't even an old school Hell Patroller. He's probably only been at it for maybe like a year and a half or something, but not a lot of the old school Hell Patrollers are actually alive anymore. Most of them are dead. It's very hard to meet Hell Patrollers that joined up during the early days when it was just get in a car and go and like we don't even help you at all. So that's some of the ancient history, because of course some people do come from a life of crime, and Henry is there to tell them that you really do have to quit the life, and you got to quit the life and you got to go straight, and you know once you're straight you can't go back because your crimey friends that are still into crime are going to pull you back in, and that's how a lot of Hell Patrollers die. A lot of the old school Hell Patrollers from the bad old days that didn't die fighting demons died other ways because you know they were still living dirty, or their lives followed them into Hell Patrol. We've talked about pimps abducting hookers that tried to join Hell Patrol to escape prostitution. And in this chapter, Henry talks about gangsters and other criminals that were executed by their homies when they stopped gun running for their gangs. After they realized that Hell Patrol was going to be a better life than gangbanging. So a lot of the colorful characters, a lot of the people that come from Hell Patrol and Life of Crime, before Hell Patrol actually like started giving a shit about their recruits and actually like trying to extract them from their former lives, their bad lives. That was a huge cause of attrition in the organization. So what we see now is the newer, less wild, less go nuts Hell Patrol, and it actually has some structure and some protocols to help people escape bad lives. They're very shady protocols, and they solve their problems the fast way and the violent way, but they're at least protocols that exist. Keep in mind that although the Hell Patrol timeline does pace our current timeline, if it's 2021 in our universe, it is 2021 in the Hell Patrol universe. They match. The calendar, the Hell Patrol calendar matches the real life calendar perfectly. It progresses accordingly. But because demons fucked up the world so bad over the 6-year war, technology and society is not where it's at in our 2021. So a lot of stuff that you take for granted wasn't made yet. Electric cars don't exist yet. The smartphones that the characters have, they're like Gen 1 and Gen 2 smartphones. Broadband internet, like global broadband internet, is like just now starting. Like in 2021, like Twitch and YouTube like just now got big. Shit like that. So they're still mostly living like 20th century lives where a lot of people are doing shady shit just because the war destabilized the progress of technology so much. So people are still doing a lot of fucking backdoor fuck around and find out, hide the evidence bullshit. The ends justify the means because we don't have the kind of technology and social niceties in the Hell Patrol universe that we have in our universe, because demons literally destroyed all of that shit. One of the big ones is that we go to El Segundo in a later chapter, and Henry explains how the demons actually wiped out the 100 years of progress of aircraft engineering and development because they flattened El Segundo. And El Segundo is where the aerospace development center of the United States is located. Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, all these big government defense contractors have headquarters and labs in El Segundo. And the demons just blew them all up. They're all gone. There are no F-22 Raptors in the Hell Patrol universe. That technology was all fucking burned up on January 1st, 1999. It just disappeared in a fucking cloud of hellfire and smoke. All right. Which I probably should not have told you until a later recap, but whatever, I'll frame it just so you know going in. Anyways, there is something to talk about. There is something I want you to be looking out for going into next chapter. Now that Rachel is spending more time around people that care about her, well, granted, she was always spending time around people that care about her, but people that had the power to do something and validate her. She's being validated for her skills. It's like suddenly she's Little Miss Popular. And now that she's being recognized for her skills, she's gaining more confidence. Rachel's spine is growing. We are seeing the self-esteem being built in her, because during her stalker arc, she was always thinking about everyone else, doing what everyone else said. She always did whatever Johnny said because she trusted Johnny, even though she was always the one in the line of fire. The person who was always in danger was Rachel, not somebody else, but she was always worried about what if the stalker tried to abduct one of the other girls, or what if Johnny went to jail for beating up the stalker. She always put herself in last. But now that she's being validated, Rachel's self-esteem is coming up, and we're getting very close now to the point where the last straw that's going to break the camel's back is coming, and we're getting close to Rachel flipping and no longer taking shit. Take shit, Rachel is going to die soon. We are going to see the change in Rachel in the next chapter, actually. So be on the lookout for that, because this is chapter 10. More bad shit's gonna happen to Rachel because bad shit never really actually stops.
happening to Rachel. She just learns how to deal with it and take control better. But Rachel's going to come into her own. Everybody who's been waiting for Rachel to stop being a doormat, her time is coming. So be here for chapter 10, and thank you for listening. We'll come back with more. Is there going to be gun porn? Is there going to be car porn? Is there going to be regular porn? Oh, yeah, actually, there's going to be... Oh, great, another sex scene we'll have to skip. That'll be fun. All right, come back for Chapter 10 next time. Thank you for listening to Hell Patrol. Jim Jack Cooter, bye-bye! Woo!